just mic'd up with Mikey Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach. Like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for
Good
the
show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like, they should
Players. Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, May 12th. I appreciate you tuning in a little earlier than normal. We got a special guest for you today in studio.
The Pope.
Not the Pope. That would be a wild show. That would be I would move this show up for the Pope, I think. That'd be a wild show. Definitely not the Pope.
You're in good company.
Yeah. We have second best person behind the Pope is Ethan Frey. We're going to get to him. He's obviously been generous with his time to come in and talk to us about the beautiful game of baseball, about this weekend, about his walk-off sac fly, and about the big series win LSU had this weekend against Arkansas. Going into the weekend, you would have thought LSU's offense is dead and gone. Can't do it. Can't score runs. You lost on the road to A&M. A&M's going through it. They got swept against Missouri. LSU rebounds against Arkansas at home. Really top 10 series. Arkansas coming in arguably one of the most complete teams in the country. I don't think that's really disputable. Really good offense, really good pitching staff. LSU, one of the same types of teams. Very evenly matched weekend. LSU comes on top, wins 2 out of 3, puts themselves right back in a position as the number 1 team in the country. And so we're going to get to that. We're going to talk a lot about the SEC, a lot about this last weekend coming up. There's going to be a lot of jockeying for positioning. There's a lot of teams that are 16-11. LSU is 17-10. Arkansas is 18-9. Texas is 20-7. So I think reaching the SEC, winning the outright SEC championship, obviously a long run, a long shot. Probably not possible.
Not if Paul has anything to say about it.
Even if LSU sweeps, and Texas goes 2 out of 3, they're tied with the overall record. Texas wins the tiebreaker, so they win it. But getting a top 4 seed, obviously going into Hoover is a huge thing. Top 8 national seed is the most important thing. So we're going to get to all of that. We have Jared out there in Tejas. Appreciate him always tuning in, being the co-host of our show. Looking beautiful, as always, on SEC Network. Coach, your suit game is getting fire. You just keep getting – do you have like a custom suit guy now? He just starts bringing you suits? It's just straight off the rack, baby. You good style.
You'll know when I get there. You'll know when I get there.
You're going to look like Ryan Clark?
Get broke.
No.
You're gonna go two-tone jacket.
I'm gonna look like Jared.
Yeah. You look good. You sound good. Lloyd.
Yeah.
Big Ben.
Oh, saw him.
Winston Churchill himself, back in from London.
Yeah.
Lloyd's of London, back in.
Unbelievable. We were talking before the show. Mikie couldn't make it through the Friday game, but me being 6 hours different, I could. 5:30 in the morning, no big deal.
You woke up
Anything
early
to watch the Tigers play.
Yeah, because you're an early riser.
I'm an early riser.
You're an early riser.
Just to give you, I'll give you a little bit about Sue. I actually watched the rest of that game from the bed that night because you boys decided to play so damn late. You know what? We said we probably just finish this show and just go ahead and keep moving till tomorrow. So I watched that game from the bed too as well.
I tried to watch it from the bed, and then ninth inning happened, and
one more inning, you're like, I'm
I
out.
was no. I was watching it. The TV was still on. I don't ever fall asleep with the TV on. And I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, TV on. Dog wants me to bring him outside to go use the bathroom. I was like, fuck, I missed it. I was like, I wonder if they won.
Because like, 30 more minutes?
I was like, I can't check it.
I did.
I didn't want to check it at 3:30.
it.
I didn't want to check it at 3:30 in the morning because if y'all had lost, I'd have been pissed. I was like, damn, I don't know if I can go to bed. I had a 7:45 tea time in the morning, so I was like, I had to get up at 6:30. But
Come on.
I did wake up, and it was a great
What'd you shoot at least?
86. That's actually pretty
and
good
he
for
doubled
me.
the first 2 holes.
And I doubled the first 2 holes.
That's an impressive rebound.
Yeah, I was actually very happy. My driver.
That means
A double's always
that
a
means
good
he
start.
willingly rolled over and went to sleep. That's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. This whole fucking dog and pony
I
show.
did.
I hear.
Listen.
Mikie, I was with you. Whenever you tried to leave, what game was it?
No, I did not try to leave.
Walk off.
I didn't try to leave.
Uh-huh.
I said, extra innings. Y'all want to stay?
Yeah, that 5th inning
That's
gets
crazy.
it.
That's crazy.
But
you played at LSU and you're
I
trying to leave.
knew that we weren't going extras. I knew that Bears gonna hit a home run to the fucking moon, and we were gonna win.
But
And
the thought you were trying to leave is
well, that's
insane.
why I won, because telepathically.
Mikey wants to leave.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm telling you, I had to re-recruit him back to LSU. I was like, look, we've stayed for 9 innings. Why not stay one more?
Then not only did we stay, we got
Fireball shots.
shooters brought to us after y'all hit the walk-off. It was
Students.
amazing.
Was it with the parents too?
Yeah.
No, well, actually, funny story. Chance Brown made me give the speech before the Saturday game at the parents' tailgate. And
Tennessee weekend?
No, this
weekend.
What'd you say?
Honestly, I basically said, fuck Arkansas. Van Horn can't win here. He fucking tries to. Can't do it. Can't ever win the big game. This game's too big for him. We're going to win. And then Jake goes 2 homers, and I get a text from Chance. He goes, you're doing a speech every fucking weekend. I was like, fuck.
According to my dad, after I hit the homer, Chance brought my dad a fireball shot too.
That's the parents' thing.
Yeah.
I mean, 2023, they're all alcoholics.
Yeah,
Yes.
they had some tradition going in too. I don't remember what it was though.
Same thing. They would take shots.
Yeah, but I think they said they switched it.
They moved spots. They moved tailgate spots. They did tell me that because they didn't win it last year,
Yeah.
so they moved it.
That's fair.
Yep. But y'all put yourselves in a good spot now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this weekend.
All right.
All right. Actually, let's talk about you before we get to this weekend. You came here 2 years ago, won national championship. Obviously, lineup is stacked.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to break it. You have a bunch of veteran guys. You have guys that did really well. I think that's understandable. Last year, you kind of started making some headway, hurt your shoulder, injury kind of derails the season. You don't get in there. In the day and age now of transfer portal, moving around, changing it, you stayed true to LSU. You're from Louisiana. You've wanted to play at LSU. You stayed true. You got an opportunity here, and you've taken the opportunity this year. You've stayed healthy, and you've run with it. You've been one of the best hitters in the lineup. Talk me through that timeline. Like, How close were you to leaving? Why did you stay? And how awesome does it feel now that you've look up and you're, damn, I stuck with it, and now look what I'm doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm from Louisiana, so I had to come to LSU, you know.
Proud of Rose Pine.
That's crazy. I saw that. Freshman year,
Rose Pine.
I mean, just use it as experience here. Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, Paul. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Last year got hurt, you know, just kind of stuck with it. Did what I could for the team. Talked to Coach Johnson about it a little bit too. Just try to do what I could do when, you know, I was hurt. And then obviously, I mean, there were some thoughts. You know, I really hadn't played much in 2 years. But then I had surgery, and I kind of just had a feeling in my heart that was like, all right, I'm meant to stay here. Like, I came here for a reason. You know, it's kind of God's sign to stay here and trust it. And couldn't be any more thankful. You know, I'm healthy now, so it's probably the most enjoyable part.
And it's hard now. Like, you're kind of a rare breed as far as sticking it out. Back in our day,
everybody stayed.
You know, you had to. You couldn't really transfer. You transferred, you to sit out.
Yeah.
You know, but there's opportunities for some guys to maybe get pushed out and transfer, right? Like some guys, some of our best players, Lewis Coleman, Coach Mary brought him in the office and said that he needed to go.
Yeah.
He needed to transfer. He wasn't doing the things he needed to do. He wasn't performing the way he needed to perform, and this may not be the right place for him. He's from Slaughter, Mississippi, small town in Mississippi, but loved LSU, basically cried to Maneri and was like, hey, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I will do whatever it takes to be that guy. Next year, his junior year, puts him in the doghouse, doesn't play him, ends up playing in the back end of games, starts throwing really well, changes his arm slot to like a low three-quarter crossbody, then he starts throwing 93s, nasty.
Yeah.
Ends up becoming the best guy out the pen, and then comes back for his senior year, is SC Pitcher of the Year, and makes it to the big leagues.
Yeah.
And so his, you know, obviously route to stardom was a lot different. He couldn't transfer, but he wants to stay here. My point in saying that is guys that want to be here and are committed to being here, you can see those guys end up coming out of a slump or maybe not having an opportunity and playing later on and down in their career. And you know, you're evident of that. In that transition, right? In the injury, being hurt, coming back, were there any changes in the swing? Were there any adjustments, or was it, hey, let me just get some reps and let me go out there and let me show you what I can do?
I mean, there had to be some changes that were made. You know, I pretty much tore my labrum, so I mean, we kind of just found our way around things. Just got to a point where I was comfortable. You know, not too much worried about the micro adjustments. Just swing the way I could comfortably without being in pain, obviously, and then it was just trying to focus more on approach. That way we can actually make the at-bats worth it. And then ever since I've been back, it's just been kind of getting to where I was before I got hurt, back to getting smooth and feeling good. So, but
that was just a long way for Mike to say thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just I respect that and I appreciate that because it's not something that you see often anymore. And you know, I grew up wanting to play for LSU and I had the opportunity to play for LSU early, but it's one of those things where like when you see yourself there, it means more, and you do whatever you need to do to perform and be that guy.
Yeah, as a freshman, I saw myself in like the jerseys. I was like, all right, like I made it. Like this is amazing.
Right.
And then, to me, like my family's big on loyalty, so that was also
Love
another
that.
piece. Is like, I mean, and I'm from Louisiana. I can't get much better than
Love
this.
that. And there's not a better place to play than here.
Yeah.
Jared, you got one?
Yeah, I got one. So we did like this little, I guess you can call it a mini series, if you will, last year where we started breaking down swings, and we just happened to have like
We're very ADD and we don't stick to things.
Bro, we honestly had like 2 clips of your swing, right? And so we're not in the cage with you every day. We don't get a chance to see you swing every day. We've never gotten to talk ball or hitting with you. And so we see these 2 swings and we're like, man, I don't know, man, this shit plays. This swing right here could really, truly play. Like, we like this shit. And then obviously the year happens the way it does in terms of the injury and everything that kind of goes. Man, like after weekends like Tennessee and like last weekend and kind of where things are this year, like do you go home at night feeling like, not necessarily that I'm at my peak, because I don't really think you're even close to your peak, but do you go home at night feeling like this is what I knew I could do, and the reason why I stuck this shit out is because of weekends like this here and where weekends like this potentially lead us towards the back end of the year?
Yeah, I mean it's a great taste, you know. Obviously going through a rough first 2 years, and then when you experience a year like this so far, and especially the last couple weekends for me, it's definitely a good taste in your mouth. You feel like you're actually doing something right. And I go home at night. Sometimes I'm feeling myself.
Yeah, of course.
But then I kind of remind myself, like, all right, the year's not over. Like, I want to win another natty, so I got to keep going. But I mean, it's been amazing so far. I couldn't complain. That's for sure.
You've been in the DH spot, outfielder, right? You're 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, let's say 6'6". We'll round up. But you're extremely
Depends on who
athletic.
you're
I don't
asking.
think. Yeah, cleats or no cleats. I don't think people realize how athletic and how fast you are up until probably this year, because you're finally out there and you're running down the line. I think people kind of take that for granted. Do you being as the DH, right, and being basically, hey, you're in the lineup, how much work and how much pride are you taking in, obviously, defensively, right? Because you're not getting as many innings out there.
Yeah.
But the next level, you're gonna be in the outfield. How do you balance that? How do you balance the offensive side? Because that's what you have to do right now.
Yeah.
With being ready defensively.
Yeah, I mean, during our BP, when we took our outfield reps, I'd take those reps pretty seriously because, if something were to happen and I have to go out there, I want to be prepared,
Yeah.
So I'd say I still take defensive pretty seriously. Even along for the for the future, I got to be ready at any point. So kind of just staying mentally ready and, the confidence I have, even though I'm not really playing much out there. But, like before practice, I'll do all my hitting stuff, get ready.
Yeah.
Even before games, I hit a lot early. And then right before the game is when I use some defensive stuff, just try to lock in, kind of get a feel for like what the wind's doing too, even for when I'm hitting. Just trying to, get a little better even when I'm not playing outfield. Can always be a tool that people surprise the most with. So
you have a unique perspective because you're here in 23. There's not a lot of guys out here from 23, right? There's a few.
I think there's 12 of us.
Yeah, right? And so you were there 23. You got to experience the team that won the national championship. You were there last year. Y'all are honestly probably one out away from hosting and then probably making it back, right? Y'all are playing y'all's best baseball. Everybody that we've talked to that has come in from this year's team and that were here for 23 and last year, they talk about how the culture in the locker room and the closeness of the guys a lot different this year than it was last year, a lot similar to what it was in 2023. Do you still feel that same way?
Oh, I completely agree. It was such a weird feeling, as a freshman in that kind of locker room. When you go from a high school clubhouse to the locker room in 23, you're like, this feels so weird. And then at the end of the year, you're like, wow, I really miss those guys already. Right. And then, you spend the first month and a half in the locker room this year trying to get to know everybody. And then, fall is fall. It's kind of long. Everybody's just trying to fight through. And then we get into season. We have a lot of people that are fighting.
Are you a good fall player?
I'd say it goes 50-50.
Yeah.
Depends.
Okay.
But, you've got a lot of guys fighting for the same positions, and we're all best friends.
Yeah.
Like, if you were looking from the outside, nobody would think me, Josh, or Jake would be friends. And, those are some of my closest friends on the team. Even other positions that are fighting it out, too. We're all really good friends. And we all kind of have each other's back, even if there's a disagreement in the locker room, we're willing to confront it and put it together and then move forward with it. So it feels a lot similar to 23. I feel like if we can keep it that way and, just keep pushing, especially once postseason comes, I feel like we're gonna be fine.
Jared.
Being that you were a freshman, I kind of want to touch on that a little bit more. Being that you were a freshman coming into the locker room in that 2023 season, at what point did you realize, like, damn, this is a damn good team, one? And then two, what things do you take from that season that you just got a chance to learn, whether it be hitting, whether it be about how to go about your actual everyday routine, whether it be about how to be a better teammate? Like, what things do you still try to apply from that year that you make sure is, like, at the top of your list?
Yeah, I realized we were going to be really good when we played Tennessee at home. That's probably still the most electric thing I've ever experienced in my life. I played in front of, like, maybe 150 in high school. And all of a sudden, we have 13,000.
The whole town.
Yeah, 13,000. Friday night against Tennessee. That was electric.
That was Jordan Thompson's double, right?
Yeah. I went in the locker room to go to the bathroom or something, and I heard the crowd from inside the locker room. It's like, this is insane. It's like I knew every person that came to my high school.
You missed a double?
No, I didn't miss a double.
Okay,
but I'm saying, like, in between innings, I could hear the crowd. I didn't miss that.
I was like, damn.
No.
Not worried about it.
Yeah. We got it.
Good.
But, a lot of the mindset taking a lot of the mindset, you can go hit for hours and get your swing better, but you can't just get your mindset better. There's a lot of things I've taken from Dylan or Doogie or Beloso. That's that's stuff you can't just buy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, those guys have thousands of ABs in the collegiate level between 3 of them.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most important thing to me. I was like, all right, like I may not play a lot, but there's something I can take from this.
No doubt. And look,
well, Jay talked about that. Like he said, there was like a turning point almost in your like playing time. Essentially, he was like, I didn't like his body language after like I think you were 0 for 2, and he said like he talked to you or whatever going into like your third at bat. He's like, and something changed like right there. Like you felt like
he felt that something.
Yeah, he felt like something changed. So you can tell that like that makes a difference.
Yeah. Because I mean, at this level, everybody's got the talent. Let's be honest. You can't play in the SEC if you're not good enough. You know. It's all about the mindset. And, like, the 23 team, I mean, it doesn't get much better from a mindset standpoint than that team. And just learning everything from, 20 different guys in that locker room it's game-changing. I mean, you like I said, you can't buy that stuff. Yeah. Like, that stuff you just have to – it's like who you know type of thing.
No doubt. We talked a little bit off the air about approach. I want to talk about that right now, right? Because you just mentioned SEC, you have to be good to play in the SEC, right? It's a matter of, hey, who can do it mentally, who can kind of overcome the adversity. And a lot of times, like, there's a lot of people that have been talking about over the last month, man, the offense hasn't been playing well. Everybody's in slumps, this and that. And
they keep winning.
We've been they keep winning. I was like, we've been talking on here that not just because you're in a slump doesn't automatically mean you got to change your swing. Yeah. Right? A lot of times when you struggle, it's mindset or it's approach or it's, hey, you're trying to press, you're trying to do too much. Right? What I've liked since we broke down that swing with your approach is everything feels like it's kind of through the middle. Yeah. And you like to drive the ball to right center field. Obviously, you're a big dude. You have power to all field. So that's not – you don't have to cheat to hit a homer to left field. Yeah. Right? But you drive the ball to right center. And this year, by getting the reps and getting the at-bats, you've seen that. You've been able to hit the ball inner half to right center, away to left center. Talk me through your approach. What do you look for? How do you approach your at-bats? Obviously, it's dependent on the pitcher, but I just want to talk that a little bit.
I mean, I kind of just think through the middle, That's where the most lane is anyways. You're early, it's in the gap. You're a little late, it's in the other gap. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you get carried away looking for too much for one thing, you take yourself out of 80% of the game right there. So
that was a mental midget.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. But I mean, since I was young, I was always just kind of raised to aim towards the middle of the field and just kind of stick with it. Obviously, you're going to be late, you're going to be early, you're going to be off pitches. I just try not to cheat anywhere with it. Yeah. The minute you start cheating to something is the minute you got a hole or a weakness in your swing. Yep. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing for me is just staying through the middle, especially with my direction.
Let me ask you this. When things are going not great, right? Whenever you start, because you can feel it as a hitter, like, damn, I don't feel real comfortable. You can stay with it. Is there something that you do, like a drill that you do, or is there something that you key in on that say, okay, this is going to get me back right?
Fastballs. Left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
You can't go make the pitching change for the team, though.
That'd be nice, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be something sooner or later, but for me, it's just kind of hitting more. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I was raised is the better you're going to be, the more swings you're going to take. Right. So, if I have a bad weekend or a bad game, I'm normally there a little earlier the next day or the next week, hitting more, trying to find the confidence again. Not saying that, like, I dip in confidence, but
100%.
I feel like the more you try to change stuff, the more problems you're creating yourself. You're like, oh, well, what was it this game? Was it the 6 things I just changed, or was it the thing I already had the problem with? Right. So I just
it starts spinning.
Yeah. So I just try to say the same thing and try to hit a little more, get a little more comfortable with myself.
You can't try too hard.
Yeah, that
some
you can.
people, some people you can.
That you can. Right. That was probably it is the biggest issue in baseball. Football, you mess up, you go play harder. I'm gonna go hit this guy harder. I'm gonna play harder.
Hey, that works.
Right. Basketball. Hey, I just
you're gonna dunk on somebody.
Yeah. All right. Fucked up on offense. Let me go back and play lockdown defense. Or damn, I got beat on defense. Let me go out there and do something offensively. Baseball. Damn, this guy just shoved it up my ass his first at bat. Let me just swing harder. Doesn't usually always work. Actually, it doesn't work. Never works. Actually.
Yeah. Or you're in the outfield just doing your swing the entire time.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Like picking daisies.
I've done that too. That's why I hated DH.
I love it.
You love it. I hate it because I was such a I couldn't let it go, and so I would. And then when pro ball you have the cages if you're at home. Yeah. And I would
murder.
They locked the cages when I was DH.
No.
I couldn't go hit the cages because that's how much I hit.
That's bad.
It was not good.
That's bad.
It was not good.
It's starting to make a lot of sense about your golf game.
Yeah. It also making sense while I'm sitting here talking right now. Let's talk a little bit about the game this weekend. Big series. Y'all aren't naive to the situations, right? Y'all lose on the road to A&M, which all 3 games could have gone either way. Wasn't that y'all played bad. Y'all probably left some opportunities out there offensively. Y'all come in, you have Arkansas at home, and similar to when Tennessee came here. Were y'all coming off a loss? Was that Auburn and then Tennessee?
Yeah, it was Auburn.
So y'all lost to Auburn on the road. You had Tennessee. Y'all rebounded. Very similar to how y'all did here. Y'all 10-run ruled them on Sunday, and y'all beat them in a close game at 1:45 in the morning on Friday. You do it this weekend is the same way. I guess, you had an opportunity on Friday. End of the game. Barrel on third base. Sack fly. Walk me through that. Walk-off sack fly. Was that your first walk-off at LSU?
No,
I'm not counting run rules. I'm not counting run rules.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Midweeks don't count like that. That was my first one. It was a good feeling. You've got a plus runner for his size at third. Infield's in, outfield was peeped. It was cracked a little into, I think. A situation, there's not 2 outs I don't need to hit. So just kind of trying to hit something hard or at least get it far enough to where Barry can have a chance. So I'm just kind of being a little more aggressive than I normally would at something in the zone.
Yeah.
Not trying to get to 2 strikes, take the strikeout out of it and just try to put a barrel in something. Thankfully, I hit it far enough.
Just enough.
Yeah, just enough.
Just enough. That's all you need to be. Just.
I didn't want it to be close.
Yeah, game inches. It was close, but it made for good theater.
Yeah.
Jared.
How do you approach these DH days, man? Like, everybody goes about it differently. I think a lot of people either think it's either one way or the other, really hard to do, or guys like you that like doing it. How do you go about the routine of your day to keep yourself locked in and make sure you're ready to go each at bat?
Yeah. When we're on defense, if I'm up in the next 3 or 4 spots, I kind of 1 or 2 outs, I start getting ready. Start getting mentally ready, start moving my body a little more, and then as we get into offense, obviously we're all gonna get ready for that. And then after my at bat, or if I still have a little more, I normally just try to go talk to some people, kind of calm down, not try to stay too loud, because I feel like when I try staying locked in for all 9 innings while I'm DHing, I can't do it. I struggle too much. I end up not locking in when I need to lock in. So I normally just try to go talk to some people, maybe lock in a little more in the game, not myself so much. Support the pitchers. Just try to get my mind off of the hitting situation right now. That way, when I get in the box, I can lock back in on it. And then just try to stay loose when I'm, not actively in the game.
Y'all have a lot more technology
now.
Like, do y'all get to watch the pitchers? Like, do you get to watch them throw? You have the iPad. You get to see them, like, if they come out the bullpen. Like, do you have an iPad, like, this is what he throws? This is what he looks like when he throws? Is there something specific that you look at in scouting reports? When we were here, it was, hey, this guy, righty, throws 89 to 93 with some sink and a slider, and that was really it. And then he comes in and he's 96, and it's like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Is there something specifically that you look at in scouting reports? And with the technology, y'all able to kind of watch these guys pitch before they actually come in?
Yeah, so before we even do BP, we watch a starting pitcher. They normally show us like 2 or 3 guys out of the pen that they think is gonna bring in that day. So we watch them then, and then during the game, I don't watch any of that stuff. I look at TrackMan, have Jamie or Guidry explain like the metrics. I don't understand
Guidry?
Yeah, Guidry is a demon on the metrics. He knows
really?
it. Oh yeah.
I guess he's a metric pitcher with the spin rate of the freaking slider.
I have like 3 or 4 homers this year alone when I've asked Guidry what that pitch is doing on that pitch.
Really?
I asked him about the slider against Mississippi State, the homer on Friday I asked him, the homer on Saturday I asked him.
Wow. Ask him every time.
Hey, it doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that.
You got to pick.
You can't go to the well 50 times.
You got to pick your situations.
It's gotta be natural.
No doubt.
So the metrics for me, I mean, obviously it's not seeing the pitch in the game, but it's going to give you a better idea of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want every chance I can have, to be successful against 99, every game.
Everybody throws 99.
Yeah.
No.
It's new baseball.
I know you got a place to go. Just a couple more questions. I know you're not too far. You're not too far from where you need to go.
Yeah, we're good.
When the season winds down like this, right? Like y'all have everything to play for now. You're probably going to be a national seed. You're going to have home baseball in Alex Box. You have the last 3 games. You have a road trip. Then you have the SC tournament. What's the you're at this is the best part of the season because no more school. You're basically like a professional baseball player.
Coach Johnson said that to us on Friday. He was like, school's done, right? And we were like, yeah. And he was like, all right, well, welcome to the big leagues. Here's baseball every day for you.
And so that's my question is how mentally do you transition into that? Because it's a completely different way of life than it is during the school year because everything's kind of regimented. You have this, you have that. Now it's not that much, not like that anymore. How do you transition into that mentally and as a team?
I'll be honest, it's nicer. We practice earlier in the day, and it's starting to get hot now too, so that saves a lot of fluids in your body. You wake up a little earlier, which is good for you. And then you practice early, and then you're done for the rest of the day. You go chill, you go hang out, recover, drink water, and then just kind of worry about, the next thing in front of you. And then remind yourself you don't have to press too hard now because you're where you're at for a reason. So there's nothing different between 2 months of baseball ago compared to now. So just trying to stay where you are and not trying to do too much.
Jay.
Are you if you're not practicing, obviously, day off, because obviously y'all are practicing earlier now. Yeah. Are you a sleep-in guy, or are you still an up-early guy, breakfast guy?
Well, I had classes on Monday, so I had to be up early, unfortunately.
What's your major?
Sports
baseball.
Yeah.
That was my major.
Baseball was a minor in sports management.
I'll send you a seat over here in a couple of years. 10, 15.
But I'd normally go to class, play with my dog for a little bit, and then my roommate Eddie Yaman would go golf every Monday.
Oh, no. Where do y'all play?
We go to Santa Maria a lot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we go there a lot. We like it.
You catch any of his
bullpen? You hit the ball a long way?
Huh?
You hit the ball a long way, I'd imagine.
I used to now, but I kind of do now.
Yeah.
Probably about 310.
That's good. It's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
What was not a lot?
Like 260.
Oh.
As long as it's in play. As long as you're in play, that's all that matters.
That's not always guaranteed now.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
There's two different styles of golf I've learned. Playing with Mikie and seeing you hit it 310. 260 would be a good one. The course.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I hit 260. It was in the fairway.
Saved me a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Do y'all have like team pool days now? Like, is it like this is like hey, we're off on Monday. Nobody's got class. Let's go meet at X pool and hang out.
I know we did a lot last year. We hadn't done nothing yet because obviously we just finished school, but we're already talking about it, and I'm looking forward to it.
And y'all got home baseball here. Playoff.
I got a
baseball.
farmer's chain I got to fix.
No doubt. Well, that's what golf's gonna do to you, and baseball.
Roast Pound will do that to you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I guess. This guy's from Alexandria. Don't let him fool you. This guy's.
That's why I know what Roast Pound is.
Yeah, I know. This guy's up there. It's Don't let him.
You have a unique perspective, I would say, being a DH, and also you get to. So you're obviously involved in the game, but you get to see Jay, the coach, go through every pitch and every emotion. What is that like, being on the bench and seeing kind of the interaction between what he's doing defensively whenever you're trying to get ready offensively? Is that something that like a sight to see? Sometimes I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean he's a good coach, so you don't ever question what he does. He makes a move and you're like, okay, I see why he's doing it.
Does he explain the moves to you? Like when he does it, like
he ain't gotta explain nothing.
No, I know. I'm just asking.
Trust him.
No doubt, but some coaches do. Like, this is why I'm doing it. This not like if you watched what's the Netflix special on the Red Sox, the Clubhouse, right? Alex Cora pinch hit O'Neill for
because his grandma died.
For the guy, he goes, "Hey, his grandmother's about to pass away. I'm going to give him a bat," and
it's a homer.
He knew it, and he had a homer, right? There's sometimes there's explanation, sometimes not. Doesn't have to explain it. I just didn't know some coaches over-explain, some coaches don't say anything. But trust is a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean, he might have explained a couple here and there, but I've told him I trust him a lot before, whether I'm in the game or I'm not.
Yeah.
And he knows that. I've told him that multiple times. I mean, especially with what he's done for my career. Right. He don't got to explain himself.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even think explanation. I was just more interested in like the in-between pitch. Like he lives and dies with every pitch, and then you saw he was doing the in-game interview this weekend, and it's. I think they laid down a bunt single, and he goes, "This is why I hate doing these." And he takes the headset. Oh yeah,
that's why I hate doing these.
During the game.
The game,
he hates those.
They asked 2 questions, and they could not get off fast enough, and they started laughing. Yeah. Ben McDonald's like, "Well, I guess they need to play better than get them on for longer."
I just imagine you have a back seat to that.
Yeah.
Kind of
I don't even remember where we were playing. It was recent. And the girl was begging him to go down there. She was like, "Coach, can you please go? Coach, can you please go?" I was like, "He ain't going. He ain't going. If he ain't gone yet, he ain't going. You might as well just leave it alone. Maybe get it next inning."
Let me ask you this: offensive timeouts. He does it more than anybody I've ever seen. And I've told him before. I was like, "Hey, if I was a player, like I hate that. Like, and if you're gonna talk to me about what you want to do, talk to me on deck, not when I'm in the box, and call me out." Now, a lot of times, a lot of times I don't even really say much. There's sometimes I say things, or sometimes I'm just like, hey, I'm slowing the inning down. In those offensive timeouts, how do they usually go?
No, I mean he's not lying to you. Sometimes he doesn't say a word. Sometimes like, all right, well, I want to give Cade Anderson, a couple more minutes of Gatorade.
Yeah. And sometimes I imagine he's probably telling you, hey, look for this or this in this situation.
Yeah, normally we talk about it before I even go on deck. So, it's normally just like a little bit of concrete. Hey, like, here's what's going to happen. Or, there's been times where he said, hey, I want Cade to have 30 more seconds.
Basically a timeout.
Right.
Yeah, and we just stand there and not a word more is said. Sometimes I don't like it, but I trust him. Like I just said, I'm never going to question what he does. So if he's doing it, there's a reason to it. So kind of just let it happen.
Favorite place to play on the road?
Oof. Nowhere. Nah, Omaha.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I like Omaha. Mississippi State ain't bad. It's a good environment.
They're rowdy.
Yeah, A&M's not bad either. They're rowdy too. I like it.
You played at Ole Miss yet?
It's all right.
Yeah,
it's nice. I like the small town environment.
They were rowdy when we were there, but
they weren't that rowdy.
They weren't very good.
No, but Morgan Wallen was in town, so I think nobody was at our game.
That's right. That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, he threw the chair.
No, that was that weekend.
No, that was the weekend. Like he claimed he got sick or whatever, or like
he got blasted.
Yeah,
he couldn't go on tour.
Threw the chair off the balcony.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't hit anybody, but.
I like the adrenaline though. So like I don't want to play like Oklahoma, like when there's 1,000 fans. I'm not
freezing
a fan
cold,
of that. Yeah.
brutal.
I mean it's baseball, so you kind of just gotta do it anyways. But I like the adrenaline.
Yeah.
I played football, so I need the.
How long?
All 4 years of high school.
Position.
Love that.
Quarterback.
See?
Did you go under center?
Sometimes. I like the contact though. That's why I liked it.
You're running quarterback.
I was a dual threat.
Dual threat guy.
Yeah, I was a dual threat.
That was Maneri actually.
Like
he recruited specifically, tried to recruit high school quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. He told me that. Him and Nolan Kane told me that.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we look for high school.
We had 9 high school quarterbacks on our baseball team in 2009.
I think I might be the only one.
It's a different world. It's a different world out there now with baseball.
Yeah.
It's so sports specific. But being from a small town, you're able to play. Yeah. Did you play any other sports, or was it just football and football?
Just football, baseball.
Football, baseball.
No, I got threatened to play basketball.
I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't force you to play basketball.
My head coach for baseball said if I ever catch you even touching the basketball, you'll be cut off a team.
Just played lights out.
He wasn't joking. He wasn't joking.
Well, is it? Look at this.
Big throws and the Eagles won over Pickering.
Look at this.
On this first play, the Eagles are in a 2-by-2 set.
That's a great play.
The 2 inside receivers run clearing routes, and the outside receivers run comebacks. Frey looks off his primary receiver and looks opposite, and then he hits the open receiver on the sideline.
Look at him go off the read.
And that's the other question. Is like,
on the sideline.
Does that make you mad?
Gets the open receiver on the sideline.
Does that make you mad when they call you sneaky fast?
And a big first down.
Not sneaky.
On the second play, Frey's in the gun. The offense is in a 3-by-1 set.
They think we're slow, and I'm not.
You're not slow. I know
you
that.
and Jake Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake talked about that too.
The math starting to math.
See, but I don't understand why people call him slow. Like you can tell he's fast.
Well, right, but people just
I'm big. I don't have a reason to be called fast.
That's a very good point.
Eat up ground.
Hey, why do you think they call y'all slow?
That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe they're slow. I don't know.
Oh shit! Why do you think they call me slow? I don't know. My pigmentation may not be what they expect it to be.
They never pick off and I get on base.
That's crazy.
I look. It got to the point where when I was in pro ball, I got so fed up with it that I told Jake this. Like, I specifically wore my pants up to make me look.
Look at those ham
like, hey, I'm fast, but like.
There.
I think I look stupid with high pants on.
I thought so too, and then you get to
you got good pants.
You got good pants.
Yeah.
If they're custom fit, it feels better.
But why do you want to look fast?
Because he thought he was being undervalued.
I thought I was being profiled.
Athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd rather catch him by surprise.
Back end of the career, he was like, I
got it was more for the other teams watching me than the teams that I'm playing against.
That's
what happens when you get the minor league ball.
It was more for the other teams. I was like, hey, don't forget about me.
Waiver wire.
I may be at the back end of my career.
For, though.
You're right. You're right.
I don't think the pants are going to do much.
No. It was good for my mentals, okay? It was good for my mentals, all right? Don't take that away from me, all right?
You've been great teammates.
Yeah.
He said the less fabric helped him out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
white
it.
cleats.
The white cleats. Always got to wear white cleats. That helps.
When it comes to the strength and conditioning, speed, all that stuff, how much has Chris Martin made a difference? And obviously, it says first year here.
Yeah.
And then, so first year with him, you've had multiple strength and conditioning coordinators.
He's my fourth in 3 years.
Yeah. How big of a difference has he made coming from the Astros?
I love Chris. I've never really had a problem with any strength coach we've had here. But, I mean, Chris is smart. He's young, too, so he's kind of closer to our age where it can be bad sometimes, but he knows how to control it. I mean, obviously, yeah, we're in great shape, so he's done a good job with us. He's got a little more of a speed factor to him, too. Like, he knows a lot about sprinting and stuff.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, we wear those catapults every game. Yeah, those help out a lot, too.
Everybody keeps saying that y'all wearing bras. It's like everybody's chill, whatever. But
I don't know. He tells me I'm fast, so.
Is his, like, strength, I guess.
Approach,
that's the right way. Significantly different than the other guys, or is it similar, just kind of tweak some different things?
I feel like they're all pretty similar to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have, like, your rotation of squats in there. You still have your bench, Then you've got your athletic movements like power-off press or some other stuff we do. But, I mean, I feel like he just finds certain ways to sneak good stuff in there. He wants some feedback too. Hamstrings are tight today. Can we alternate this? And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, just talk to me about it. And like every program is like developed per person. It's not just
that's important.
Here you go. Which I like a lot considering
BFS, bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah, and I mean there was a time for that, but it's not now anymore.
High school.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be like it's player specific. Yeah, no doubt. Dude, I can keep you here all night. I'm not gonna do that. I've already made you late.
No, it's fine.
Man, we appreciate you taking your time to come on here.
Y'all.
We want to get you back on here at some point.
I'll come back out here
before the season's over with. Whenever you're off and you got more time. Good luck.
We'll do it in Nebraska.
Yeah, or we do it in Omaha. We're just gonna visit y'all in Omaha when y'all make it there.
You tell me.
We'll make it happen.
Perfect.
Good luck the rest of the way, dude. Keep swinging it. Keep doing what you're doing. We're huge fans here, obviously, and looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season holds for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here.
Appreciate you, dog.
And happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Well, his family's awesome.
It'd be belated.
Oh, his
lady.
His family. Yeah,
it'd be belated.
Your mom came and talked to me at the first pitch banquet.
Did she?
Yeah. So
my mom talks to everybody. So.
Yeah.
Don't feel special. Don't feel special.
Since she's a fan of the show, she wanted to talk to you, but she got me. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah, she freaked out when I told her you texted me. She goes, "Oh my gosh, you're going on!"
Oh, hell yeah!
I'm like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
She's probably watching right now, honestly.
We try to make it fun for y'all.
So happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Louis was in London, so he couldn't tell everybody here happy Mother's Day. But
yeah, I'm still on the time clock. It's different there.
Appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me on.
Of course.
Absolutely, brother.
You can just bounce this way. Very casual. Appreciate you, dude. Yep. Good luck.
Thank you.
Don't forget your keys. We got that happens a lot.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks y'all for having me on.
Yep. Anytime. That sting a little bit, Lloyd, when that wasn't special as she talks to everybody?
Oh, no, that's a great. That's what I wanted.
That's what you
I
wanted?
want a little shark bite. Like a little
Coach, he's a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big motherfucker. What you drinking over there?
I'm glad he's finally getting his stride and getting in the lineup and doing his thing.
Yeah, Coach, you know what's crazy? And I know he hadn't played a ton. It's wild that this is his first year with a homer.
Crazy. It doesn't even sound right. It's crazy.
Here's my question. Do you think that do you think he's a draft guy this year? Or do you think there's a chance he comes back as a I didn't want to ask him that, because he wants to get drafted, I know, but
I mean, I don't know, because I feel like I only say it for this reason. I feel like as a hitter,
right,
there has to be sort of a track record that you usually see more. And it's not like he's not doing well now, but I just feel like for 3 years in college, they might want to see a little bit more of it. And that would obviously not help his like draft stock in terms of coming back for senior year. But like, I think, I don't know, man. That's a very interesting situation. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And now he could go out there over the last month of the season and go on this like postseason tear and hit 5 homers, 6 homers, and like go off. And then they say, okay, like
speed plays.
This is we're not worried about the outfield. The big thing is the bat. He's athletic. Put him out in the corner outfield spot and let him go. And not saying he can't play center or anything like that, but you're going to put him there, and then maybe he's a guy that you teach to play a little first, and now he's a utility guy.
I meant to.
Let's put it like this. I'll put it like this. Let's just say for whatever reason, LSU does not finish in the top 4. So let's say they finish 5th in the league for whatever reason. Yep. I don't even know if that's actually possible.
Oh, we're going to get there.
But let's just say they finish 5th in the league, which means they only get the single bye, they don't get the double bye. So they got to play at least 4 games to win the conference championship or the conference tournament championship, and then going in throughout however long they play in the playoff. Let's just say he goes absolutely, I'm talking just stratosphere.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
in terms of high enough to where it would entice him to leave, I guess, at that point.
No doubt. No doubt. You talk about LSU finishing potentially 5th. You know, if they take care of business this weekend, I think they're going to be solidly in the top 4. If they end up slipping up this weekend, you have Georgia, Auburn, Vanderbilt all at 16-11. So, you know, with those 3 teams, you know, obviously depending on what they do, they can jump LSU depending on what happens. But I think if they go and do what everybody expects them to do, what they expect to do this weekend, I think they're going to be, you know, solidly in the top 3 probably of the final standings. Let's talk about this weekend, Jared.
Yeah.
It felt like it was a completely different team, right? Obviously, baseball is a week-to-week thing, and it's a crazy deal. I mean, we've seen it. You see it around the country all the time. You saw it this weekend. I'm not trying to hammer A&M, but like you saw it this weekend. I mean, A&M just beat LSU in a very, very well-played series at home, and then they lose 3 games to Missouri. Like, anything can happen. It's just a game of baseball. Kentucky swept Oklahoma. Like, things can happen. It's wild. It's baseball. It's unlike any other sport. But it felt like watching them this weekend, it felt like the offense started kind of getting back to what they are, right? They've been winning games when they haven't been playing great, which is a sign of a good team, right? Even, you know, you don't have – Jared Jones still didn't have a great weekend, but they were able to score some runs. They were able to put up 2 wins and runs against a really good team. What was your take on this weekend, and what did you like to see, and what's something that you didn't love?
I mean, my take on the weekend was kind of spot on to what I thought it needed to be for them to win the series. I thought you needed to protect your home field, right? I thought that was big for them, and a lot of the really good teams in the SEC have been able to do that this year already. So, like, that was right on par. But I also thought, like, if you are going to beat this Arkansas club, your ass better swing the shit out of it. Yeah. And they found a way to do that and come out and finally kind of come out of that rut that they've been in for a while. And you got to remember, too, this is against a very good Arkansas pitching staff. So it was no fluke, no joke of what they did. Now, what I will say is this, is going forward, now look, they're going to go to South Carolina. I don't know exactly where they'll be in terms of spirited play. I know they're out with a lot of players right now, so they don't exactly have their best players out there. But you're looking at LSU and Auburn. Of every team that has a winning record in the conference right now, there's only 2 teams that have a losing record on the road. Right. So I want to see them go on the road and bring the bats and bring that kind of attitude to the offensive side of the ball again. Like, and then I want to be like, okay, you're starting to hit your stride at the right point and not just man, I really hope y'all just playing in Baton Rouge on the Bayou at the box. Like, I need to see that come alive again, even if it is against a South Carolina team, because I think stuff like that is going to propel them to that kind of like that next tier, that next level to where you like, yeah, this shit is real. Because, I mean, we know they're good at the box. We know they're a good team. We know they're a great team, especially when they're swinging it. But it's, like I said, there's only 2 of those teams that hasn't played well on the road, or at least to a winning tone on the road, and there's no denying it. LSU's one of them. So it's bring this next weekend again and swing it the way you swung it this weekend, and I think stuff like that starts to snowball and you start to really go.
The pitching staff, right? I think, you know, answering the question I asked you, like, look, the offense, we've never really been unbelievably worried about them coming out of it. Obviously, the offense is what it is. It's not going to, you know, at the end of the year, you're going to look at the homer numbers. They're probably going to be right in the middle, like kind of like we had all anticipated. I don't think we anticipated Frey hitting double digits, but we knew it was possible. He's at double digits now. Milam's at double digits now, and I think you're going to have a couple other guys get to that number. But, you know, the pitching staff has been the strength. Obviously, Kate Anderson, one of the best pitchers in the country. Anthony Eisen, one of the best pitchers in the country. Not just the SEC, in the country. I think it's the best 1-2 punch in all of baseball. We talked about that off air. But that Sunday role is the role that has been the bugaboo for the last few years. And that's usually the bugaboo in a rotation. Very rarely does a team have 3 bona fide number 1 guys, and you can just plug and play and do that. And all three are as consistent as they can be all year. You had Kason Evans, who's been lights out of the bullpen. He had a good first start last weekend or 2 weekends ago. He struggled, with walking guys. Only gave up 1 run. Didn't give up a ton of hits, but he struggled with the strike zone. This weekend had a combination of both. I think he had a few walks. He gave up 4 runs. Didn't get blown out of the gym, but also didn't pitch it as effectively as you'd want him to. He's obviously extremely good. And he's going to be a really good starter for LSU in the future. But this year, as it stands, what's your take on that part of the rotation?
So it's a very interesting situation, and I will tell you my only God reason why I think the way I think about this as compared to, I guess, what's happened and how we've gone about it. I personally would keep Shores in the Sunday role as a starter, and I personally would keep Kason Evans in the back end of the bullpen. Now, here's my reasoning. I feel like you get much closer and or damn near the same stuff from Shores as a starter. Like, we saw a lot of 7s, 8s, and 9s flash up there when he was a starter, right? Kason was down. He was down to 93 to 96, right? And that's not like it's bad, but that ain't what you saw with him at the back end of the bullpen. And so for me, is if I want like his top end stuff and where he is super effective right now, like I want him in that spot, right? And I think I like that because I feel like it's crazy to me because it doesn't matter how good the league gets. It's always Sunday where you feel like you just better out-hit the other damn team to be able to do what you want to do. Like, we're sitting here talking about Kason Evans and or Chase Shores, who both can literally touch 100 starting on Sunday, and we're still talking about, damn, I still think we got to go out there and out-hit somebody on Sunday. Yeah. Like, it's crazy to me that that's how you feel about the Sunday roll. And it kind of, as the league has gotten better, and which it continues to get better, that is one thing that somehow has seemingly stayed the same. So for me, to get what I feel like would be maximized out of both of them, because if I had to guess right now, and I don't know the answer to this, but if I had to guess numbers as a starter, obviously Chase has had more opportunities to start, but I would have to guess the numbers are pretty similar, especially after last start. Yeah. Right? So like that's why I think I like him better in that role.
Yeah. Could we potentially see, in 23, you had Thatcher Hurd start, and he was up and down. Didn't have a great start to the year. Took him out of the bullpen. Took him out of the starter role, put him in the bullpen for a few outings, figured it out, felt better, then put him back in the rotation in postseason play, and he was lights out. Can we potentially, you think, see that type of situation with Chase, right? Coming in and, started, obviously has the stuff. Comes out of the bullpen. The last 3 outings have been good. This last weekend was his best outing of the year, as far as location, as far as being able to locate his slider and throw his fastball where he wanted to throw it. Could we potentially see that happen again?
So I'll be honest with you, man. Like when Chase walked off the mound, I don't remember exactly what inning it was. I felt like it was like second to last inning. He struck someone out, and I think there might have been a runner or 2 on. And he walked off the mound, and they panned to him when he was walking off, and he had like that, man, he kind of had like that fuck it look on his face. Like, yeah. And I like, so the reason why I'm saying this, because I finally felt like it looked like he started pitching with like conviction and like to prove somebody wrong. And I'm not saying that like that's the only way you can go out there and play, but it was almost kind of like man, I'm kind of tired of whoever I feel like is doubting me. Yep. Fuck it. Yep. Like, I felt like that's what I got out of him. And I feel like if you can get him to bottle that up and bring that to the starting spot, yeah, it turns into something different.
So it's funny that you say that, right? I was talking with his mom and dad on Saturday before the game. Like they're at our tailgate, and we were talking to him for a little bit, and I was talking about Chase and just kind of how he's feeling, and he's like, man, he said up until about 3 weeks ago, it felt like he was holding something back as far as not trusting his break. Because look, when you come off of Tommy John, everybody's like, oh, he's throwing hard. It's not the fastball that's the scary part. It's snapping off the good breaking ball. Sometimes that maybe is the scariest thing because that's the most strain on the elbow. And he was like, man, a couple weeks ago, he started throwing his slider, and he threw one, and he goes, it was the first one I felt like he actually threw with conviction, and he believed in it, and he trusted it. And after that, it felt like he trusted his arm a lot more, and every week that slider has gotten better and better and better. And so, it kind of goes to what you're saying is like you finally saw him pitch with conviction. That's not something that you just saw. Like his parents even talked about it. And so, I think that's extremely important. It feels like he finally trusts himself with that pitch because, if you remember early in the year, majority of the year, his slider he was yanking it, and it wasn't even close, and catchers were diving to try to catch it. You're not seeing that very often over the last couple of weeks. You maybe see a couple of them, but you saw, he had one at bat where he threw 5 straight sliders, almost all in the exact same spot. Now, he got balled on a couple of them that probably were strikes, but he threw 5 almost in the exact same spot, got out the inning, and then that it makes his 100 play up a little bit more than even 100 does play up. So, to your point, I think he is pitching with more conviction. I think he feels better about it.
Yeah, it's really hard for people to understand that because, like you said, you see a guy go out there, he toes up the rubber, and the gun flashes 98 to 100. You're like, well, he's good. He's got to be good. Right. There's no way it's not 100%. But there's always that, like we talked about, even when we talked about Gage last year, like there's that little bit of that fine feeling of those fine-tuned little things, and it doesn't necessarily show up like on the radar gun all the time. It doesn't necessarily show up in the stats, but like you just get the feel, and you kind of see it in people's demeanor and how they go about stuff and how they can feel and what kind of like hop and stuff they got. And look, that might not have been the first time it happened, but that was the first time that I saw it. That I was like, yeah, okay. That looks different. Like he didn't look like, and he's never really looked like a deer in the headlights. I don't think that's fair to say that, but he's almost kind of looked like he's like, it's almost in the past it looked like he was not validation, but like, how did that go? And it almost kind of at that point when I saw that was kind of like, yeah, I'm here. Like I don't really care. I know what I just did. It was nasty. Sit your ass down. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. And if he that's kind of what I felt like I saw from him.
If he emerges with that, that is LSU's number 1 team in the country right now. But like that puts them at a different stratosphere. If he pitches to that level as that third starter, that puts him in a whole different level.
And he may not go back to the third. He may stay at that spot in the bullpen. They may keep casing him, and that's very well their choice and whatever they want to do. I'm just saying if you get – because realistically, like if I'm being completely honest, let's just say if Casey continued to pitch like he pitched the last 2 outings, at worst you're getting Chase Shores at his worst. But if you get this Chase Shores out of the bullpen, you just basically swap the same position. So like it really doesn't have to go back and it can stay the same. But like if he pitches like that wherever they choose to put him in, it's a different ball game.
Correct.
Because you saw Case and Evans, I don't want to say struggle, but the last 2 outings have been no more than 4 innings, I believe, 3 2/3 and 3 1/3. And it's not like it's been bad, but everybody is looking for this Game 3 starter that, it feels like you just want to be able to pencil in. Is there any credence to saying that maybe, just maybe, that you would put in a former starter from Wofford and Zach Cowan and have him take over that Sunday role? Jared?
See, here's my one problem with that is I need to know that I got somebody 100% for sure in the bullpen that whenever I have to go to him, it's lockdown, son.
Yeah.
And then like when I go to him and for whatever reason it may not happen, I don't have any questions about shit. Was he the right one? No. I need somebody back there that I'm like, hey bro, when I go to you, I got no qualms about any of the decisions I make. I don't care if you give up 30 homers and we lose.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Right. No,
that's how I feel about that spot.
I felt like Casey Evans was in that same boat.
I agree.
He was. No, both of them were. We had 2 of them in the bullpen at that point. That's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, to your point,
one's a freshman.
One's a freshman, and one's done it in the postseason before in college. Maybe not in the SEC, but has done it at high-level situations in postseason ball. So you have 2 guys like that when him and Evans were in there. And not saying Evans can't do it, but you have the experienced guy to rely on, and I don't think that you're put in a situation.
You're shocked when Cowan gives up a hit, much less a run.
Right, and you're not put in a situation right now where you have to have it all the time on Sundays. Right, and so, and you're not in that reason because you have a guy like Cowan on Friday and Saturday where I'll put him in, it's lockdown, and it's over.
Is it?
I'll say this too about before you even go further. I'll say this too about Kaysen, and I'm trying to pull this up and feel a little bit if I can see if I can pull this up. But like the one thing I did see, and I don't remember what it was his last start, but the one thing I did notice last game, it was like he was at like 4 1/3. I want to say in the game, and I looked up at the numbers of the pitches thrown, and I think it was like 84 or 85 at that time, and that is a lot of pitches to be throwing to not even get to 5. So basically, he would have been at like 90 pitches before he even got through 5. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I want you to go back and look at the times he came out of the pen. Super efficient.
Yeah.
Filled up the strike. There wasn't much of that. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if I like this move because of that. Because I felt like he was more of a bulldog in how he went about everything. And how much better he was efficiently at the back end than just what the last 2 starts have been.
Yeah.
So that's really my reason for feeling that.
Hey, side note, breaking news.
Don't say basketball stuff.
The NBA's rigged.
Yeah.
The Dallas Mavericks got the Dallas Mavericks got the number 1 overall pick after trading Luka.
The Spurs?
Nope, Mavs got it.
They had Cooper Flag.
Mavs got the number 1 pick after trading Luka, and everybody's up in arms. And
that man's a genius now.
Hey, that GM very confident in his decision. You know, I think he knew he was getting number 1 pick.
They were the play-in.
Yeah, Pell's
7th.
Shit luck. Good luck, bud.
They sent
Good luck,
Zion. They sent Zion to the draft.
Yeah, good, cool.
Yeah. So
anyway, that's the only basketball talk. I just saw that. I figured that's pretty.
But Chase Shores did go, to your point, J. Mitch, 3 2/3, 87 pitches.
When?
Chase Shores?
Out of the pen?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Kaysen Evans, excuse me.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's like not enough. I'm not trying to bag on him, but I'm saying that's not like the most efficient work that he's done.
And he knows that. You're not bagging on him. You're just telling him.
He knows that.
Yeah, like he wants to be more efficient, and like he got through that first inning unbelievably efficient. And I was like, oh, because the week before his first inning was 30-something pitches. This first inning was not.
And he gives
was
them
good.
What a bases loaded jam.
And then it was just, you know, look, Arkansas is a good team.
I mean, a lot of this can be blamed on Brandon, the umpire.
Yeah, maybe, but like he did it for 2 weeks in a row.
Maybe.
So, you know, you can't. It's hard to blame it on the umpire for 2 weeks.
You know who
but
was behind the plate for that game?
Who?
Brandon.
Was he?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I was like, geez. That's not.
I mean, I've done a deep dive.
Then we can blame it on Brandon if that's the case.
I've done a deep dive into Brandon, but not that far.
Yeah, we're not going to go into Brandon.
He might like it.
We're not. Jesus Christ. You're fucking reckless, dude. You are. Yeah. You are a menace. We're not getting into that. Now I'm
Don't put me on this motherfucker now.
Now I'm rattled. I don't know what to say. Paul Skeens on the mound right now. I was trying to get it, but I didn't resubscribe.
Good. I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, 180. I'm not doing that for the year.
We have I have a site.
Yeah, but it's gonna be too hard to get it up there, and
I can drag it over.
You can't drag it all the way over there.
Oh.
No shot. You got too much of a gap. Can't get through the air. Too much of the air.
You don't have a window.
Too much of the air from the computer screen to that TV.
There's no window.
There's no way you can get there. No way. No, but look, I think LSU's in a good spot. You know, this weekend was very impressive. They did everything they wanted to do. They won the series. That was the most important thing. And look, Sunday they lost 7-4, but they had an opportunity to win. They had one bad inning out of the bullpen. They had one inning where they couldn't find the zone. Everybody that came in that needed to do their job ended up walking guys, and that's where they ended up getting a couple runs, and they took the lead. And then I think they're up by 2, and then LSU scored a run, and then they gave up a couple more out of the bullpen. It wasn't as efficient out of the bullpen. But other than that, I mean, it was pretty well played game, well played series.
Also, make no mistake too. Like we talked about it already. That's a very good team. Like it's hard to beat that good of a team 3 days in a row and beat them kind of the way. Like it was impressive to see what they did. Especially like we talked about. Hey, you need to come home. You need to protect your home field. You need to play that kind of game. And this is a big series, and them rising to that occasion, that would have been beyond impressive if they would have found a way to sweep them.
Yeah.
And they had chances too.
They did. They had.
But I feel like that happens a lot too. There's always those chances, but to actually beat a team like that 3 times in a row, it is so damn hard. You know?
Yeah, no doubt. Are you worried about Texas? I know we've talked about this a lot. You worried about Texas going cold at the wrong time?
So I mean, I won't say I'm worried about them. I never really. I talked about it before. Like, you were the #1 pitching team in the league, and you lost your Friday night starter. You were never at the top of the league in terms of being one of the better hitting teams in the league. You just found ways to win close games, and you got clutch hits at the right time. So I never really truly looked at them as like, damn, they're good.
Right.
Like, damn, they're the top of the league. But they were very clutch, and it obviously, like, they found ways to win games. So you can't, like, knock them for any of that. But I always felt like, all right.
They're outplaying them. They're outplaying their skis a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of felt like they were playing over their skis a little bit. Like I said, man, like, you're not the best hitting team in the league. You were the best pitching team in the league. You were literally doing it with, like, 3 starters that have been really good. And then you had 2 to 3 guys out of the pen that were basically coming in to, like, pitch the second half of the game, and you don't see those things that much. And look, LSU, to their credit, kind of done it the same way. But they were doing it like that. I'm like, all right, like, is it going to keep going like this? Because I've never really seen that before. And I guess if you want to say they're getting colder right now, I mean, yeah, they're not winning games, so I guess that's kind of fair to say. But, like, I just always felt like, all right, I kind of want to see, like, if a pitching performance gets matched like they do, like truly matched like they've been doing it, what happens then? And I feel like we're kind of somewhere in that space a little bit right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're probably they're gonna be a national seed. They're gonna play at home in the regionals and super regionals. So it is very likely for them to be able to get out of that part of the bracket. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're in Omaha. I just don't know if I truly believe that they're a team that can win it all.
Yeah, they're more than likely going to. They're going to win the SEC. I mean, they're going to go to Oklahoma. You'd imagine that they're going to win at least one game over there. Arkansas has to go to Tennessee. You can't really foresee. I mean, Arkansas is at home against Tennessee.
Can we talk about Tennessee?
Yeah, we will. You can't really expect Arkansas to sweep Tennessee. Not saying they can't, but you can't really expect them to sweep Tennessee. And if Texas gets to 21 wins, they win the SEC. So,
right.
You know, unless Arkansas sweeps and goes 21-9, they're not. You know, they win the tiebreaker over Texas. But unless they do that, you'd imagine Texas is going to win the SEC. So, you know, the outright champion, they're probably going to be a top 3 national seed. Arkansas, LSU will be right there 2 and 3, depending on what happens this weekend. And then you got, you know, the other 3 teams that are 16-11 that are going to be jockeying for the other 2, the other spot as the top 4. But yeah, let's talk about Tennessee, Lloyd.
Well, before we get there, hold on.
Okay.
Wait, really, before we get to Tennessee, I do want to say this about Texas, though. We kind of joked about it, but, like, they bring in the Jonah Williams. I think that's his name, Jonah Williams, the freshman who is also a football player. I think his older brother is Nick Williams, right? He, look, if they found another bat, possibly, like he came in, had a big bases clearing double, like if they found another bat and like have a position for him, maybe that does give a boost to the offense. And I'll also say this, that coaching staff has obviously done a damn good job, and there's a good chance it won't be all intact and all together at the end of this year.
Yeah, and look, Jonah Williams, great talent. Tone down the emotion, maybe a little touch.
He's a football player. Jay Mitch, he's your guy. He's a 5-star plus safety. And
he thought he was going to tackle a baseball is what he thought that first day, but
Coach,
it's okay.
He was. That was wild. That was a wild sequence.
And he got he retweeted everything about it too. So he's on the Twitter.
Oh yeah, and then he hit the double and then cramped up because he was so hyped after hitting the double.
Be like that sometimes.
He's on football.
Be like that sometimes, man.
It does. Listen, he got an opportunity and it was a big moment, and you know, I'm not knocking the kid. It was a wild situation.
It was 7-2.
Speaking of, it was a walk. Didn't swing one time.
Great walk.
He didn't swing one time.
This is what I was going to say for all the people out there that think you want a different coach. Jay Johnson coached his 250th game at LSU Baseball on Saturday. His record is exactly the same as Skip Bertman's first 250 games, 177 and 73, tied for the best in program history. Seems like you got the right
Fire
guy.
him now, right?
Yeah, get him out of here.
He's
Coach
not.
O.
He can't do it. Can only do it with Paul Skeens.
Who he recruited.
He can only do it with Paul Skeens. Man, Maneri wouldn't have won the national championship without Anthony Renato and Lewis Coleman.
And Jared
Mitchell and
Mikey
some of the other guys they recruited.
I'll say it for you. And Leon Landry and Derek Kalanihi and
Micah Gibbs. Austin
Nola.
Yeah.
Team was pretty good.
It's I promise you, look, Paul Skeens pitched one game a week. A lot of guys had to do some things too. So
Dylan Cruz seems to be pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
But that's
another wild situation.
Unbelievable stat.
Another wild situation that happened over the weekend. Seems like this team is a constant in these situations, and that's Tennessee. 2 benches clearing.
What?
Skerfuffles.
Benches.
Oh, you thought I said yeah. Benches. BEN. 2 benches clearing skerfuffles. This weekend involving Tennessee Vanderbilt. You'd imagine that Tennessee Vanderbilt, obviously both from Tennessee, rivals, both really good. Now Vanderbilt having a little bit more history, recent history in baseball success. Had some words exchanged, and then Vanderbilt won the series, and Tennessee did not gracefully accept the series loss. What's your take on that? Actually, I want your take on that, Lloyd, before we get to our takes.
When does it stop? Like, what's the end
game? If you go look at the video of the last play, the handshake, it looked like Vitello was watching and he was looking for something to kind of like bitch about, right? Like kind of get it going, and then Inslee did it for him. I don't know if he was looking at Inslee or if he was looking at everyone before Inslee did it. But
pretty simple so far.
It just wasn't
throw the four-seamer back-to-back.
Always something. I know it's emotional. Emotions run. Broke it up. Got in there real quick. That's just it's always something. But look,
would you not say that at some point, like, wouldn't you expect your head coach to like get in the middle of it and be the one to?
Feels like he lets them do what they want to do, and that's hard for him to. When you do that, it's hard for you now to step in and say, "Oh, hold on, let's tone it back."
Because this is the better view. When you see what's his name, Inslee?
Yeah,
their goat that came back for his senior year. God knows, good for him. But when he goes out of his way, nobody's talking to me at all. And he circles around, and like goes out of his way to find something to say to somebody. And I mean, that's a coach. I don't know why it's wrister tape, but that's a coach.
How do you know it's a coach?
Because he's got the thing in the back pocket.
What do you mean?
He's got the. I mean, you don't wear your mitt to the field.
I mean, he was probably played. I mean,
maybe so. Maybe
that's a sliding mitt.
So. Either way, he's an older man. And like, hey, cool it. Oh, what the fuck did you say? What? Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, okay. And then he's gonna shug his own coach away, and then this guy comes in heated.
Whoa! I didn't see that guy. Wow.
He's got some trauma. Do you want to guess how many innings he's thrown this year?
2.
3 1/3.
That's what the guy's there for. He's an energy guy off the bench.
Yeah, I bet. He's from Tennessee though, so it's his right.
It's just it's a lot. It's a lot.
But
it's
like you said, it becomes like a. What did Tennessee fans say? And of course, they steal the narrative. Like, this is a great way to deflect, right? You lose the series at home to Vanderbilt, but it becomes more about Tennessee doing this than it becomes about you lost the series. It's
right.
Like, no, look how competitive we are. That's their mantra.
Sure. You can be competitive, and you can still look. And I'm not saying you can't chirp and you can't have a little edge to you. It's just there's times to do it and there's times not to, and you just lost the series. Like, you got to. You gotta take your medicine. Like, you just got.
Hey, I feel like you just let them run and do what they do. Look, at the end of the day, it's all good and it's all cute when you're winning.
Yeah.
When you get your ass bust, now everybody knows who you truly are. So you can go ahead and dig your own grave and keep acting that way when things don't go your way. And let's see how much favor you end up getting like that. I think the bigger story in that situation, man, honestly, is what I thought was a very below average like hitting team. Man, if they can keep getting Brody Johnson and Braden Holcomb, those two guys in the middle of the lineup that allow like the R.J. Austins and the Riley Nelsons and those guys to like play like themselves, man, Vandy might be a real problem on the back end of the year because they actually have a very good pitching staff. And like the whole year, they just weren't swinging it enough. And maybe they still aren't. I don't know. But if those two guys in the middle of that lineup, and if y'all remember, Braden Holcomb, I think it was last year, came to LSU as a freshman and had the 2 or 3 homer game, maybe, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember too.
So, those guys got some real pop. And if those guys keep showing up in the middle of that lineup, this team could be scary down there.
I mean, Coach, they have 11 losses. I mean, they're playing a tough schedule. And look, their offense just now is starting to kind of ascend and play better, but I mean, I think they've got enough. They've got enough offense with the pitching that they got, especially the way they're playing. I mean, they're going to be a national seed. Everybody thought Tim Corbin was dead.
Well, that's it, and that's what I was going to ask you all is like surprise team. It felt like it was going to be A&M after the way they started. Then they got ultra hot. Then they dropped 3 to Missouri, get swept by a team that was winless in the conference, and so it felt like A&M was going to be one of those teams that you're like, oh, don't let them get in the tournament. Is it now Vanderbilt, Kentucky?
No, see, like A&M was never really the surprise team to me. It was just like, what the hell took you so damn long?
Right.
Vanderbilt is the surprise team because you watch them all year and you're like, bro, they don't really swing it like that. Like they're not that good. Like I want to say going into the weekend, I think they were like 11th or 12th in doubles in the league, and then like second to the last in homers in the league. And then on top of that, I think they were maybe like 11th in the league in like runs scored. Yeah. So basically, 11th in the league with like walks. So basically, you're telling me it's single, and that's the only way we're going to win. Yeah. I'm like, find me a team that's fucking real good that does that. Right. But they were doing that.
Right.
And then now it's like you're starting to get those two guys to come on. Shit, it starts changing. Yeah. So like that's where you're like, all right, I didn't see this happening with y'all. So to me, they're the surprise team because they've been pitching it well all year and they ain't swinging and nobody's really stepped up until now. And now you're like, okay. And one of them is a freshman who you didn't see in this spot. Yep. So like now that's why I think that they're the surprise team.
And look, they got to play. They're at home the last weekend of the year against Kentucky, right? They're 16-11. You know, we talk about 19 wins. I don't know if they're going to sweep Kentucky, but their RPI I think is 3. And so they're going to be put in a situation where they're going to be obviously a regional host, probably maybe a national seed. And then Auburn goes on the road to Ole Miss. We know that their struggles have been. Ole Miss is 14-13. You know, they're kind of trying to position themselves in better seeding or whatever that may be. And then Georgia's got this is basically for the top 4 seeds. Georgia's got A&M at home. Talk about how important Georgia was. So yeah, I mean I think Vandy has a real chance of hosting postseason baseball in Nashville for the rest of the postseason.
Yep.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting because they're definitely doing more there than what they were early on.
Yeah, I mean the SEC's wild, dude. I mean, Mississippi State's 12-15, and like they were left for dead. They're at Missouri to end the season. I know you can't assume a sweep anymore because Missouri just won, but you know, Mississippi State goes up there and let's say they sweep. Now they're 15-15 in conference. Like that's pretty crazy turnaround for them. But yeah, so Vandy, always dangerous team, especially when you got 3 guys coming out the pen. They're 100. I watched them at the end of that game, and everybody they brought in was throwing 99. Like, Jesus Christ. Even from the left side. All right. Lloyd, we haven't had a mistake of the day in a week. Do you have one?
Do I have a mistake? Can I go back to the same well?
What well?
Because there's...
Yeah, what well?
Yeah, I'm scared. I don't know which one you're talking about.
One Bill Belichick's girlfriend. Have you seen the news coming out?
That they hired the Chicago Bears PR guy?
Not only that, but obviously Hard Knocks pulled out because they said, and this is from a story from Pablo Torre, who does his own podcast, which is like Pablo Torre Finds Out or whatever. He tells stories that people aren't normally telling and does a deep dive into this research. And whenever it came down to this woman, there was a quote that came out that said, "I've dealt with literal sociopaths, and she's the worst person I've ever met." When it comes to dealing with Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, obviously North Carolina has rebuffed this statement.
Of course they have.
I don't know how this is going to end.
Which is why they hired the PR guy.
Right. And so that's a move in a direction for sure to say maybe they're right. But where do you think that this goes? I'll open up the mistake of the day. Is it to Bill Belichick for continually bringing this person onto staff and hiring her as essentially his manager, and then having her involved this much in terms of what football is? Because when you think about Bill Belichick, what do you think of?
It can't be that good, huh? Right?
I mean, especially when you already paid for it.
Another menace comment by you. No, look, mistake of the day is just letting it get to this point, I think. Just letting the narrative kind of go where it's gone.
I mean, you had an opportunity here. If you're North Carolina, you think you made the right hire, right? Like, you get the opportunity to hire Bill Belichick, probably one of the greatest coaches of all time in NFL, in football history. And then it becomes an absolute circus because he's dating a 24-year-old.
Yeah. Not what
like you had Hard Knocks lined up.
Not what they thought.
You had now CBS is like doing interview after interview, and she's cutting them off about how they met. Whenever it was, we met on a plane, and I was reading some book that was very much of the aristocracy, and I'm so, I'm such a thinker. And Bill Belichick signed it, but then they rebuffed that story and said, I don't know how we met. We don't talk about it. And now you get Hard Knocks canceled, and
whatever, dude.
People are saying she's a sociopath.
Whatever.
People that have met actual sociopaths.
Whatever.
I've dealt with sociopaths.
Mistake of the day is just bringing her along and letting it get this way. Curtain call.
Oh, curtain call.
Yeah.
Easy. Randy Jones. OG of the show. Look, he got a shirt made before we could.
He did.
Got the Mik'd up logo on there. Gets to meet Mikie at the tailgate one time, and then he comes back again for the second tailgate and has his shirt already chalked up, ready to go. The OG number 8, absolute legend, and one of our biggest supporters. So
appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out, curtain call to Randy Jones.
Shout out. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. Jared, you got one?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a video of it, but I actually have it. It would take too long to give it, but so there was a video that leaked. If any of y'all want to go check this out, I guess OTAs or all this stuff is starting with football, and you kind of got a glimpse of seeing why Sean McVay is such a really good coach. Yep. So they bring all these guys together. First time they're in the building, they get all the new guys in the building, and McVay decides to put up a big-ass video, a montage of Davante Adams while Davante Adams is in the room, basically saying, like, man, it's really good to welcome this guy to the team, showing examples of him doing things textbook by the book. And it was like twofold. It was basically let me butter you up and bring you up and build you up in front of the team so you can know that we value you here. But it's also on the other side saying, now guess what? I'm expecting this from you, and I'm expecting this from everybody else in the room as well. So, like, I want you to know that I love you. It's great that you're here, and that's probably what an outward looks like. But it also says, don't drop the standard, and you just raise the standard of everybody else in here. It was actually really cool because you don't really see guys, or you don't really get privy to when things like that happen inside of other people's buildings, and you understand why someone so young has been able to come in the league and be so damn good at the head coach position in that organization, and it's because he has such a way of connecting with that team. Like that, he didn't have to do any of that. He could have sat down and said and put up a acronym on the board and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do this year, and this is who we need to be. Instead, he decided, let me put this big ass spotlight on Devontae Adams and tell him, man, we love that you're here. This is awesome stuff. This is the standard. This is what we expect. You keep doing it, and guess what? Everybody else, y'all just saw it. You do it too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was pretty awesome. I mean, it's. So
if you get a chance, if you get a chance to go see it, like I like for anybody to go check it out because I thought that shit was cool as hell.
I agree.
And curtain call to Jared, who's leading the fantasy all of a sudden.
Oh, came up from the rear. It came up from nowhere.
Let's go.
I'm gonna get the graphic made for Wednesday because I'm trying to find it, but we're doing it through like a Google Forms that I have to be able to pull up. But yeah,
okay.
But I'm in second, Mikey's in third.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I've fallen off a cliff.
Well,
it's okay.
You want Devin Sheeran for Gavin Guidry?
Nope, not anymore. Apparently. I don't know what's gonna happen.
You can make the call right now.
My curtain call is to LSU football because the ever-changing landscape of college football and we're 0-5 over our last 5 opening day games. You already have Clemson scheduled for this year, and then next year at home. And everybody assuming that you're just gonna schedule, not schedule any tough teams. LSU just no. We're going to get SMU in a home-and-home series. SMU has some of the most money in all of football. They say, hey, you think we're going to go backwards. We're going to go forwards, and we're going to continue to play tough games, first game of the season. So curtain call them for making it
Which
difficult.
way?
Making it difficult.
Could be a mistake of the day.
Yeah. Well,
J. Mitch, how many people do you think SMU Stadium's hold if they play a home-and-home?
No, they said they're going to play in
Jerry's World?
Jerry's World.
Their stadium goes like 30-some thousand, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they said they're going to play in Jerry's World.
Yeah, they have to.
So not technically a home-and-home.
Yeah, I said 60. I just assumed that everybody's got at least.
No, it's not 50. That much. I've seen it. It's small.
It's like 30-some, yeah.
Yeah, it's 32,000.
Yeah, Jerry's World. Shit, maybe they'll have a new stadium by then. They got enough money over there.
Yeah, well, guess who's on the first game of the year for the NFL? Schedule release dropped. Cowboys versus Eagles.
Oh, weird.
I mean, can they get out of my life, dude?
Weird.
It's the worst team you have to watch all the time. And the Giants, I'm sure, will be on a doubleheader.
They shove it down your throat, but it's okay. Maybe they'll be good. Who knows?
Shove the money makers down.
All right. That's all we got for you today. We appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. We'll be back live in studio from 6 to 8-ish on Wednesday. We're happy Lloyd's back. We're happy we got the band back together. We appreciate the love and support. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you can't watch us, but you like listening to us whenever you get your pods. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your Monday. See you on Wednesday. We love y'all. Peace.
And extra, what more for the curtain call? Randy Jones, $5 super chat.
Hey.
And he
got
said,
it set up?
Yep.
Nice.
And it was one super chat, and Mike will take his shirt off.
Whoa, that's not happening.
No, I said that.
Oh.
But I got the $5, so
you
can't take it back.
Can't take it back. Appreciate y'all.
Maybe catch him at a tailgate.
Appreciate you, yeah. Sure, still ain't coming up. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
No thumbs up?
You're not going to show Jared?
Yeah!
We've been locking it in with that.
Winner.
Hey.
The clubhouse. Lot of baseball to go.
Later, peeps.
Get him out of here.